out on its own again. "He must have escaped somehow," I mumbled. I put my backpack down and put the envelope inside of it to make sure nothing happened to it. Then I walked toward the dog in the neighbor's yard, hoping and praying they weren't home yet. Juanita put down her bike and we approached the dog together. Dylan started growling as he saw us come closer. "Dylan," I said harshly. I needed to show it who was boss, my dad always said. "Come here." But the dog didn't budge. It walked across the grass and relieved itself again, this time in a more solid manner. "Ew," Juanita said, while I sighed, annoyed. I knew that I would have to pick it up before the neighbors came home. The neighbors hated our dog and always complained that it barked at night. "Come here, Dylan. You're coming home with me now," I said, and walked closer to the dog. I grabbed it by its collar and pulled it off the Hansons' lawn. Juanita came up to me and Dylan let out a low growl when he saw her. I pulled the collar again to make it stop, but that just made the dog snap at her, and Juanita pulled back with a light gasp. "I'm sorry," I said. "This dog is impossible. He doesn't like strangers." "It's okay," Juanita said and backed up a few steps further. "I just wanted to help." "I know," I said. "I've got him now. I'll take him home. He's lucky my dad won't be home till later or else he would face a bad beating. He knows he's not allowed outside on his own." Juanita nodded. "Okay, guess I'll see you tomorrow then?" I forced a smile. "Sure." I watched Juanita grab her bike, then send me a soft smile before taking off toward her own house. As I watched her ride off, I wondered if things had been different if I was able to like her back. She was ever so cute, and I really liked her eyes. In another place and time. "Come on, Dylan, let's get you back inside the house before anyone complains. How did you escape anyway, huh? Maybe we should rename you the Great Houdini. Would you like that?" I suddenly stopped talking. As I looked at my house, I realized the dog escaping wasn't the only odd thing on this crisp afternoon. The garage door was left open, and my mom's car was gone. To most people that wouldn't be alarming, but to me it most certainly was. My mother was always home to greet my siblings and me when we came home from school. Always. February 1974. The first thing I noticed when stepping into the kitchen was a half-made peanut butter sandwich sitting on the counter next to an empty lunchbox with my younger sister's name on the side. Baffled, I let go of Dylan and walked to the counter. The bread had gone hard on the edges, and the peanut butter that was only half spread on one side had dried up and sat in lumps. The knife was on the counter, still smeared in the brown substance that my sister loved so much, but I never took a liking to. It gets a little blurry from there on, but I remember that I stared at the knife, dumbfounded, not sure what to believe. My heart rate was going up rapidly. My mom had clearly been making lunches for my siblings, but why hadn't she finished? Had something happened? "Mom?" I called out. I could hear my voice quivering as the sound was returned to me as an echo. "Mom?" I tried again, slightly shrill and anxiously. But there was no answer. Why was there no answer? Mom always answered when I called. You have to understand, she was always there. Always. "Mom!" I felt how my legs went soft and wobbly beneath me as fear set in. Desperately, I walked to the stairs, called my mother's name, then my siblings one by one, and then my father's, even though I knew there was no way he was home already. But the thing was, his car had been in the garage, not my mother's. I wondered, was something wrong with my dad's car? Maybe he had taken her car instead. Could it be as simple as that? "Dad!" I almost screamed, and that was when I saw the blood. There was blood on the floor and up the stairs. I stared at it, my hands beginning to shake, while the dog took off. It sprinted up the stairs like someone had told it to go find a treat up there somewhere. I followed. I walked up the steps, my legs heavy and my hands trembling. As I reached the top of the stairs, I heard my dog whimpering, half growling. Then I rushed into my parents' bedroom. In there, I first spotted Dylan on the bed. Then I saw what the dog had in his mouth. He was pulling at it. The sight made me want to scream. It was my mother's arm. "Dylan!" I yelled, then rushed to get the dog away from my mother, who was lying on the mattress. The dog let go, then backed up while I walked closer to better see what was wrong with my mother. I stared at the face behind the plastic bag, and the first thing I noticed was that it wasn't moving. The bag remained completely still, as were my mother's eyes. I turned my head and spotted my father's body on the carpet behind the bed. It was lying there just as still as my mother's, a belt wrapped around his throat, his face bloated and grotesquely swollen. Both of them had been bound with thin cords at the wrists and ankles. I wanted to move. I wanted to do something, to pull the darn bag off my mother's head, but I couldn't. I was frozen in place. It was like I was trapped in a nightmare, but no matter how hard I tried to wake up, it didn't happen.